The wind howled through the sleepy riverine community of Amanze village, a remote settlement nestled between thick mangrove forests and endless marshlands in the Niger Delta. Rain pounded the rusty zinc roofs like angry drummers. Inside the old community school, a lantern flickered weakly. Only 6 villagers remained seated on the wooden benches. At the front stood Gideon Duca, a young school teacher whose life had been marked by loss and hardship. His shirt was soaked with sweat despite the cold weather. As I was saying, education is the only thing that nobody can steal from you. Thunder exploded outside. Boom! The children screamed. The elders laughed nervously. Mama Nkechi, Teacher Gideon, even the thunder no one hear your lecture. The room erupted with laughter. Gideon smiled. Then let thunder go back to school. More laughter. The storm worsened. Rainwater began leaking through the cracked roof. One by one, people stood to leave. Within minutes, the schoolhouse was empty. Gideon packed his books and stepped into the darkness. The muddy road leading home looked like a river. As he struggled through the rain, a voice called from a brightly lit shop. Teacher! Teacher Gideon! Gideon stopped. The speaker was Chief Moye, the wealthiest trader in the village, a man known for helping people, but never without reminding them about it afterward. Come inside! This rain-fit carry person go Cameroon! Several customers laughed. Gideon forced a smile. Thank you, Chief. My house isn't far. You two get pride. What's in concern, poor man with pride? The customers laughed again. Gideon's smile disappeared. Good night, Chief. Without waiting for a response, he continued walking. Behind him, he could hear the trader muttering, Young people these days. 20 minutes later, Gideon reached his small cottage at the edge of the marshes. The house belonged to his late father. The walls were cracked, the roof leaked, but it was home. He lit a kerosene lamp. For the first time all day, silence surrounded him. Then, knock, knock, knock. Gideon froze. Nobody visited this side of the village after dark, especially during storms. He grabbed a wooden stick and approached the door. Who is there? A deep voice answered. A friend. Everybody claims that before trouble starts. The stranger laughed. Open the door, Gideon. The fact that the stranger knew his name made his heart skip. Slowly, he opened the door. Standing outside was a huge man, broad shoulders, military boots, scar across one cheek. Behind him stood a beautiful young woman holding an umbrella. The lantern light revealed her face. Gideon gasped. Angela? The woman smiled. Still staring as if you've seen a ghost? Years ago, Angela had left Amanze for Lagos. Nobody expected her back, certainly not in the middle of a storm. The soldier stepped forward. Most people call me Major Ray. Major? Retired. Angela entered first. Can we come in before this rain drowns us? Moments later, the three sat around a small wooden table. The lamp cast long shadows across the room. Angela looked around. You still live here? Where else would I go? A brief silence followed. Ray studied Gideon carefully, like a man evaluating a potential ally or enemy. Finally, Angela spoke. We're not here by accident. Gideon's eyes narrowed. Meaning? Before she could answer, something moved outside. A shadow. Quick. Almost invisible. But Gideon saw it. Someone was standing beside the window, watching. His blood ran cold. He stood immediately. Who is there? The figure vanished. Ray was already on his feet. Stay here. The soldier rushed outside. Rain swallowed him instantly. Angela looked terrified. Gideon grabbed the lantern and followed. The darkness was absolute. Only rain, wind, and mud. A few minutes later, Ray returned. Alone. Nobody. I saw someone. So did I. Angela's face turned pale. Did you see his face? Ray hesitated. No. Gideon dead. For only a second. But enough. Enough to know the man wasn't from Amanze. Enough to know something about him felt wrong. Very wrong. The next morning, the storm had passed. Villagers gathered near the marshes, whispering, pointing. Gideon arrived to find chaos. Police officers, hunters, fishermen, and at the center of it all, a body, face down in the mud, dead. Inspector Bala from the nearest town pushed through the crowd. Nobody touch anything. The body was turned over. The moment Gideon saw the face, his stomach tightened. It was the same man, the stranger from his window. The crowd gasped, Jesus. Fisherman Dan, who be this? Nobody answered. Then Inspector Paula looked directly at Gideon. Gideon, you know this man. Gideon's throat suddenly fell dry. Because if he told the truth, if he admitted seeing the stranger the previous night, questions would begin. Questions he wasn't ready to answer. Before Gideon could speak, a voice came from behind. Chief Moye, Inspector, I think Teacher Gideon knows more than he's saying. The crowd turned. Silence fell.
and Gideon realized something terrifying. Chief Moye was smiling, not the smile of a concerned villager, but the smile of someone who had been waiting for this moment, someone who knew a secret, a dangerous secret, one connected to the dead stranger, and perhaps to Angela and Major Ray. Inspector Pala, Teacher Gideon. He stepped closer. Inspector Pala, start talking. Gideon's heart pounded, because deep inside he knew one thing. The dead man's arrival in Amanze village was no accident, and whoever killed him was standing somewhere in that crowd, watching, listening, waiting.